Needless to say, this has not been a fun start to the season for Sixers fans. And hopefully that changes in a little bit in the coming weeks and months, but so far there has not been a lot to cheer about. But there is one 20-year-old exception out there, and his name is Jared McCain. And I think, like most NBA coaches, I am pretty skeptical of rookies contributing to winning to basketball right away. It's hard. Like, even the ones who show promise, even the ones who are going to be good, are not usually helpful right away. And look, we're still in the early days with McCain, but it's not just that the rookie has shown promise. He's also been legitimately helpful for this Sixers team that would be struggling even more without him. And so let's go over some clips and show you how he is doing just that. And the first thing I want to show you is that Jared McCain is putting a lot of pressure on the rim. And that was a bit of a surprise because part of the reason that McCain fell to the 16th pick in the draft was that there were questions about his creation. I mean, he's a smaller guard, and in college, he did not consistently create advantages for himself and other players. But look, the transition from college to the NBA, it's always tricky for evaluators. Sure, the athletes are better in the NBA, but the rules are different and there is more space to operate. So some players make that transition better than others, and that's what these NBA executives get paid a lot of money to figure out. So the idea that he did not do this in college and that he will not do this in the pros, that's not always the case. Usually it is, but not always. So early on, McCain has shown that he actually is creating some advantages for himself. So let's go to this first clip. Here in this first clip, McCain takes a double drag screen, gets all the way to the rim, and scores. And of course, he does it against Campaign. We love Campaign in Philly, but that's a defender with some limitations. Okay, let's show you another one. Here he is against Grant Williams in the guts of the game on Sunday, a game that the Sixers needed badly and did not have Paul George for overtime. Darn minutes limit. So against a good switch defender, he gets all the way to the rim for a bucket one-on-one. Like, left to right crossover, gets his shoulders all the way past him and finishes. That is a big-time move for the kid. And okay, McCain is shooting 55% at the rim right now. That is not a great number. And he can be reliant on finger rolls and runners and other lower percentages shots around the rim. But I will say, McCain is getting there a lot, and that is what I care about more right now. And you also know, one easier way to get shots at the rim, you play off your stars. And that is the second thing I want to highlight, which is the two-man game with Joel Embiid. And we only saw this in the game against the Knicks the other night, but we saw some legit promise. Joel is going to have to get his sea legs under him and start trusting that left knee. But if he does, one thing that we know works beautifully with him is the dribble handoff game with smaller guards. We have three recent examples. Number one, J.J. Redick during the Brett Brown years. Number two, Seth Curry during the Doc Rivers years. And number three, Tyrese Maxey last year under current head coach Nick Nurse. Well, Maxey's still here, and that will be a huge part of the offense when Joel comes back. But he looks like he has another dance partner in McCain. So in the first set we're going to show here, the Sixers throw the ball to Joel in delay. It's kind of one of their bread and butter sets. He gets the ball at the top of the key, and then he runs a dribble handoff with McCain, who creates a ton of space and going to his left hand drills a three. That's a big-time move. But I also think there are other ways that they can get him involved. The next one involves Joel bringing the ball up the floor and telling McCain, let's dance. When Joel is healthy, he loves to do this. He loves to bring the ball up the floor and start playing the two-man game with one of his guards up the floor. And you can see why the original two-man game with Redick was always on the left side of the floor, because a right-handed player like McCain is a much bigger threat to get downhill going to his right hand in the middle of the floor. And you see that here. He doesn't get all the way to the rim. Joel's handoff creates acres of space here, and he makes a nice stop and pop over Jericho Sims. Nice shot there. And the really cool thing about all this, these guys have never played an NBA game together. They're just doing this based off feel. This is just two dudes who know how to play, figuring it out on the fly. The Sixers don't score on this play because on the weak side, Gershon Yabusele is just standing in not the right spot. You don't want a mid-range catch-and-shoot jumper. He needs to be somewhere behind the three-point line. But if you take a look at the original dribble handoff, right, you see McCain he's already gotten the first dribble handoff here, runs a pick and roll, and then Joel says, let's do it again. And that's the good stuff. That is really difficult to guard for a defense if you are spaced properly on the weak side. It's something that eventually he got to, and that's something eventually that Joel got to with Seth Curry, but it wasn't automatic right away. So to see him do that with McCain with really just a couple of practices and not playing any games together, that is impressive. Okay, and that brings us to the last thing that we are going to highlight. Jared McCain, he just makes winning plays that you would not expect from a 6'2 guard. And I think one thing we knew about McCain coming into the NBA was that he was a good rebounder for his size in college. Now, I didn't know how that would translate to the pros. Well, he's been pretty good early on, right? He's been a good rebounder for his size. And here on this play, you're going to see Kelly Oubre is going to miss the shot. Jared McCain is in the bottom left corner here. He makes a great crash right past Mikal Bridges, who does not want to block him out, tips the ball out to Andre Drummond, 2 free points to the Sixers. That's the Sixers giving the Knicks a little bit of their offensive rebounding and hustle medicine right back to them. Nice play for a small guard to make. And I love this other play too. It's kind of, this one is a little more niche, but it just goes to show that I think he has the combination of toughness and smarts. He should not be the passer on this play. Joel Embiid, you will see him. He is on the bottom right block. He is being guarded by a smaller player. You see him being fronted here. And on this play, the way to get him the ball against a smaller player is you have to change the passing angle. And that requires somebody to flash to the free throw line and then throw a pass over the top. Now, normally, that would be Gershon Yabusele here. I feel like we're being hard on Yabusele. Just want to say he's been playing pretty well, but these clips have been a little tough for him. Anyway, the reason it would be Gershon Yabusele is you typically want your 4 or your next tallest player to throw the ball over top of the defense. Really is just about height and somebody who can see over the top. Embiid is actually pointing to Yabusele on that play. Yabusele doesn't see it, but you know who does? Jared McCain. And he makes this very unorthodox cut to the free throw line and then throws it immediately over to Joe. Joel made 1 2-point field goal all game in his debut. That's it, and it's because of Jared McCain. In this video, I'm not going to mention the things we already knew about McCain. We knew Jared McCain can shoot threes, and he is taking about 8 of them per 36 minutes, and he's making about 36% of them. I actually think that number will improve, but he's shown some good stuff, particularly the ability to relocate off the ball, find open spots. It's been good stuff. And then we know he has some limitations on the defensive end. And I did not include this clip in the video, but he made an awesome play at the end of that Charlotte game the other night to force LaMelo Ball into a 24-second shot clock violation. That's another winning play. So in closing, I do not know exactly what Jared McCain is going to be as an NBA player. We are still working with an extremely small sample here. But the main thing that you would ask for a rookie is just to flash some positive things, and he has definitely done that. And I am certainly excited to watch more. And if you like this video or enjoy talking about the Sixers or Philadelphia sports, I would ask you to please subscribe to the PHLY Sports YouTube page and the PHLY Sixers Show wherever you get your podcasts.
We all silly like the mayor.